Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some really cool battles in the Fossil Cup featuring the Triple Rock theme team. These battles were submitted to the channel by a fellow content creator, Callum on Toast, so many thanks for the battle submission. Rock types are quite tough to use in the Fossil Cup since both water and steel types do hit them for super effective. Despite that fact, Callum is still able to have some very nice sets with the team. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out the Triple Rock theme team in action in the Fossil Cup. Hopping into the first match, leading Credilli into Ferrothorn, a rough lead. Going to safe switch into Midnight Lycanroc, and the opponent responds with Shadow Swampert. Not a great spot to be in. Lycanroc is going to be going for the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs goes unshielded, and suddenly there's an opportunity. By landing that Psychic Fangs, Lycanroc can now make a play for switch advantage. And if Lycanroc can flip switch here, that way the Incinerate user is going to get aligned onto the Ferrothorn. Second Psychic Fangs goes unshielded, and Lycanroc able to take back switch. And in the back they have Quagsire, so winning switch was very, very important. Lycanroc is going to fire off the Crunch. Crunch does solid damage and gets the defense drop. Quagsire forced to empty their energy. Lycanroc can let this go because at this point, based on alignment, this game should be over. In comes Ferrothorn, which is met with the Magcargo, and look at those Incinerates go. Ferrothorn fires off the Power Whip, Magcargo tanks it no problem, and is going to fire off the Rock Tomb. This isn't going to do a ton of damage, but what it does do is lower their attack, so that way that second Power Whip is not going to be enough to KO. And now can very safely save the shield for that Credilli. Back in comes Quagsire. Quagsire able to Mudshot down, but in comes Credilli. Credilli able to farm down after committing this one shield. They go for the Stone Edge, that's shielded, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Credilli into Escavalier, an absolute nightmare lead. The entire team takes super effective damage from counter, so this is not what you want to see whatsoever. Safe switches into Lycanroc, able to reach a Psychic Fangs as Escav reaches a potential Drill Run. Able to get a shield, which is quite nice, and choosing to let the Lycanroc go down. Lycanroc gets Acid Sprayed, and Escav is able to counter all the way down. At this point, he needs to wait his switch clock and bring in Magcargo. In comes Magcargo, Incinerate, massive damage. Opponent saves the Escav on very low HP and brings in Pelipper. Magcargo able to reach a Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb does big damage on a Pelipper, and then going to bring in Credilli. Credilli is going to tank this energy a lot better than Magcargo would. Pelipper goes for the Weather Ball. Credilli tanks it. And at this point, you kind of have to start shielding something, so going to be shielding up Weather Ball number 2. But then, if Credilli can commit to the farm down here, which they can, they leave with a ton of energy loaded, and it's a Jellicent in the back, the absolute best case scenario. Grass Knot, massive damage onto the Jellicent, over farming and firing off a second Grass Knot as well. At this point, they have to shield this. They are going to commit the shield. Farming up, unfortunately Jellicent is able to reach a move. Going to be committing the shield, have to watch for potential Escav switching, and there it is. Escav banked a move, Drill Run, takes down Credilli, Magcargo able to farm down. This is going to be very close. Magcargo gets to the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to be taking down the Jellicent, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, sending Credilli into Pelipper. Definitely nice to catch the Pelipper on the lead because the back Pokemon really do not want to see it. Credilli farms up to what could be a potential Stone Edge and is firing off the Grass Knot. Grass Knot is respected with a shield from Pelipper. At this point, Pelipper has a ton of energy, tough call to make. Going to let it through, and it only ends up being a Weather Ball. Very nice. Credilli would survive this Weather Ball, but choosing to commit a shield, not wanting to get too low. Credilli, again farming up to what could be a potential Stone Edge, goes for the Grass Knot, and again, the opponent shields. Opponent perfectly fine with committing both shields on this initial matchup. I'm expecting a shield here, but he actually lets it go. That's a little scary because Pelipper is very good against the back line. In comes Midnight Lycanroc, and the opponent is going to save switch into Lantern. Thankfully, with a shield advantage, this should hopefully not be too bad for Lycanroc. Lycanroc is going to have to shield because even a Thunderbolt would do absolutely massive damage, but then the Lycanroc should be able to overfarm quite a bit here. Lycanroc farms up and goes for the Crunch right before Lantern is able to reach another move. Crunch is going to be taking them out. I'm expecting they're going to bring back in the Pelipper because it's very close to a move. Opponent brings back in Pelipper. Pelipper able to outpace, and that is really bad news because that means Pelipper is going to be able to land a Weather Ball on Magcargo as well, and that is double super effective damage. Pelipper able to get to the Weather Ball, and this is basically going to take out Magcargo. Weather Ball gets Magcargo incredibly low, but in the back there's Registeel, and suddenly there is life. The question is, does an Overheat plus 1 Incinerate KO? Overheat! Incinerate! It KOs, and he leaves with the Rock Tomb. Are you kidding me? How did he win this game? Rock Tomb taking down the Pelipper, and that is a good game. Great lead in the next match, Credilli into Swampert. Opponent safe switches into a Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn is immediately met with Magcargo. This is an absolutely dominating matchup for Magcargo. Tanks the Power Whip and is going to fire off the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb will of course get that ever important attack drop. Ferrothorn tanks it. Ferrothorn chooses not to throw a second Power Whip because they want farm on Swampert. Magcargo is going to fire off the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to lower Swampert's attack, but these mud shots are still hitting for double super effective. Can they reach an Overheat? They cannot, as unfortunately Magcargo dies with the move. In comes Credilli, and the opponent's final Pokemon is going to be Registeel. Lycanroc does have to shield everything in this matchup because a Focus Blast would be lethal. Registeel baits with the Zap Cannon to get that ever important attack drop. Lycanroc, loaded with energy, is going to fire off a Crunch. Crunch gets no shielded. Opponent appears to be saving both shields for that Swampert in the back. Second Crunch is going to be taking care of the Registeel. And now, back in comes the Swampert with a vengeance. This Swampert has a ton of energy. They fire off the Hydro Cannon, taking down the Lycanroc. Back in comes Credilli, and Credilli is going to let it through. Swampert goes for the Earthquake, and that does massive damage. This is going to be very tough. Can Credilli Bullet Seed down before Swampert reaches another move? Swampert fires off the Hydro. Credilli farms up and is going to throw a Grass Knot. Grass Knot is going to do 1 HP of damage when shielded. Can they Bullet Seed down? Yes, they can! And that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Credilli into another Ferrothorn. Terrible lead, going to immediately save switch into Midnight Lycanroc. Opponent farms up some energy, and they bring in Jellicent. But here's where having Crunch on Lycanroc can be very helpful. Crunch does big damage onto the Jellicent, and hopefully this means that Lycanroc can make a play for switch advantage. Lycanroc chooses to let it go, calls the Bubble Beam, and is able to reach another Crunch. What a read. This Crunch is going to be shielded. Jellicent trying to keep switch advantage if at all possible. He's choosing to let it go, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure about this play because ideally, if you can win switch advantage, you can align the Ferrothorn onto your Magcargo. Whereas now, you're stuck throwing Bulldozes. Bulldoze can hit for neutral, but it's not the strongest move ever. Credilli able to farm down, looking to bank the energy and bring in Magcargo. Opponent waiting the switch clock. In comes Ferrothorn into Magcargo, and in the back, they have Whiscash, so trying to play for switch advantage was everything. Goes for the Overheat, it connects, but unfortunately is not going to do nearly enough damage. Whiscash overfarms a ton and fires off a Mud Bomb before they're able to reach a second Overheat. Mud Bomb will KO. Credilli does have a ton of loaded energy, going to be firing off the Grass Knot. Grass Knot actually gets shielded by the Whiscash, and that's a big mistake. Firing off a second Grass Knot, that's going to be taking care of the Whiscash. Up a shield, can Credilli actually clutch this? I'll be honest, this is a tough ask. Power Whip is going to do massive damage, and Bulldoze is just not a particularly strong move. Going to be shielding up another Power Whip. This Ferrothorn had a ton of energy stored. Credilli farming up and going for the Bulldoze. I don't believe Bulldoze is going to be enough to KO here. Bulldoze not enough to KO. Credilli reaches the Grass Knot. Is this going to be enough to KO? This is double resisted. This will be very close. Grass Knot not enough to KO. And unfortunately, he loses a heartbreakingly close game. Hopping into the next match, leading Credilli into another Escavalier. You hate to see it. Immediate save switch into Midnight Lycanroc, and opponent is going to respond with Pelipper. No Stone Edge means that Lycanroc can only hit for neutral here. Lycanroc fires off the Crunch, but still able to get the shield from the Pelipper. At this point, Lycanroc's done its job. It's baited out the water type and it's gotten a shield advantage as well. And now back in comes Credilli. Credilli's going to have to tank a lot of energy from this Pelipper, but hopefully a Grass Knot is going to be enough to KO. They go for the Weather Ball. Credilli is going to fire off the Grass Knot. This is only neutral. It's going to be very close as to whether it KOs. It does not, and Pelipper is able to reach a last-second Weather Ball. Again, Credilli, no shielding, trying to save shields from Magcargo in the back, spamming the switch button, and it's a Registeel in back. All the opponent has left are steel types. Opponent throws a move, and Magcargo able to sneak through an entire Incinerate. Magcargo shields the Zap Cannon, farms to 100, and is going straight for the Overheat. This will do massive damage if it lands, which it does. Magcargo not quite able to farm down. Back in comes Escav. Magcargo goes for the Rock Tomb, gets the shield. They've now successfully debuffed Escav. Escav farming up, not able to get to the back-to-back, and Magcargo able to reach the Overheat, taking down Escav. They take down Registeel too, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Credilli into Jellicent, a fantastic lead. And even better, they are staying in, which means they have to be very weak to Credilli in the back. Credilli goes for the Grass Knot. It connects. Massive damage onto the Jellicent. Credilli should be able to tank this, but opting to shield it up and maybe looking to try and commit to a farm down. This way they can leave very healthy. This should only be a Bubble Beam, so Credilli is going to be able to tank that Bubble Beam, farm down, and leave with quite a bit of loaded energy. Opponent is going to bring in Skarmory, the safe switch into Lycanroc, and the opponent has Whiscash in the back. So a beautiful job recognizing that they probably had another water type in the back, pivoting into the Lycanroc to bait out the Whiscash, and now that Skarmory is going to be aligned with the Magcargo in the endgame. Mud Bomb takes out Lycanroc. He's going to wait the switch clock and then bring back in Credilli because it has a ton of loaded energy. Whiscash, I believe this should only be a Mud Bomb. It is. Credilli able to tank that, and now beginning to start unloading this energy. Grass Knot gets the shield. Opponent, very nice catch, catching the Grass Knot onto Skarmory. A very nice play by the opponent. Bad news for the Skarmory, though, because it is absolutely walled by Magcargo here. Magcargo resists all of Skarmory's typical moveset. It's able to tank it no problem and just keep spamming out these Rock Tombs, lowering Skarmory's attack more and more as these Incinerates add up. Able to Incinerate down, back in comes Whiscash. Whiscash has energy and is looking to throw it. They're going to have to because even the Incinerates threaten at this health range. And now, Credilli can very safely one-shield farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the final match, picking up a great lead, Credilli into Shadow Politoed. Opponent safe switches into Lucario, and this is bad news. Counter-swapping into the Midnight Lycanroc, but Lycanroc is taking super effective damage from these counters. Shields the Power-Up Punch, and is going to fire off the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs does get the shield from Lucario. It's going to be a race, and it's a simultaneous KO. Now it's a guessing game as to who gets alignment. This is going to be tough. Wait until the last second, brings in Magcargo, and able to correctly predict alignment and align it onto Credilli. Credilli fires off a charge move, and Magcargo is going to respect it with a shield. Magcargo farming up and going for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb will, of course, get that ever-important attack drop. Rock Tomb gets the shield. Opponent brings in Shadow Politoed, which is going to be met with Credilli. Credilli able to reach the Grass Knot, and this is goodbye to Shadow Politoed as it gets taken out. Back in comes the opponent's Credilli, and they do have loaded energy. Opponent is going to fire off the Grass Knot, and that hits for some big neutral damage. He's farming up and firing off a Grass Knot of his own. Grass Knot, unfortunately, is not enough to KO here. It is going to get the opponent low, but the opponent is going to be able to survive. Opponent farms up and wins CMP. This is going to be exceedingly close here. Grass Knot takes out Credilli. Back in comes Magcargo, able to incinerate down, and that is a good game. All in all, some incredible battles from my fellow content creator Callum on Toast. Rock types are very tough to run in the Fossil Cup, and yet here he is, able to win with 3 of them. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.